Pennsylvania. It's the Comic Madness Variety Hour.
Welcome to another edition of the Comic Madness Variety Hour, coming at you live and pre-recorded from the Comic Madness basement to bring you the hottest takes for the week in comics. As always, I'm Frank.
I'm Troy.
And I'm back. It feels like it's been like a month. I feel
Like
like I
2
haven't been
months,
on.
dude.
2 months. Holy shit. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Well, no, I wasn't on
You
last
got caught in
episode.
that time warp.
And then, oh yeah, I did get caught in that time warp. That's right. Weird how time works. It's like you're like, it's like linear, and then you get caught in the time warp, and then it's not anymore, and you just kind of find out that it just exists at all times, literally and figuratively. I don't know. Anyway, heck of a ride, but I'm back. Let's see. News? We got any news? I think I should stop chewing gum. I think it's coming
that would
through.
probably be.
Can you guys hear it? I don't know. Alright, I'll spit out. News. We got any news?
New York Comic Con is currently happening, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of news.
There'll be a lot of news next week. That is true. I don't think there's anything crazy that had come out yet, but then again, it's Thursday. I think all the good shit comes out like Friday and Saturday is when they make
nobody
those
gives a shit about Thursday.
those good
Thursday.
announcements.
The worst day of the week.
Thursday is probably the worst for me, and this is gonna be a hot take, and I know you know this. My least favorite day is Friday. I hate Friday. It's a terrible day for me personally, because it's the middle of my week. So it's like everyone else is happy and I'm miserable, and everyone's like, "Oh, Frank.
Oh, the fucking weekend.
Oh,
bro.
Frank, you're really a pillar of positivity."
And I'm like,
And
dude,
I'm like, bro, I got work for the next couple days in a row. You're all off playing, frolicking in the sunshine. I got to deal with goddamn Monday. Everyone's least favorite is my favorite day. Yeah, that's my superpower. Being like backwards. I'm like backwards, man. I'm like, Monday's the greatest. And everyone's like, Mondays, lasagna, Garfield.
if Garfield hates Mondays, so do I.
Damn.
I roll with Garfield for life.
For life. He's your boy.
For life.
Wow.
I feel like me and Garfield have a lot in common.
Do you think so?
No.
That's a horrible thing to say, though, because isn't he, like, super lazy, too?
Yeah.
So you're like,
I'm
I'm
like-
exactly like Garfield.
I actually don't like Italian food. I hate cats, and I'm up all the time. So I'm like the exact opposite of Garfield.
What a wild idea, if you really think about it. Jim Davis coming in strong
And
with
he's like,
Garfield.
Yo, this motherfucker, he hate Mondays.
He hate Mondays. This cat, though, loves Italian food, specifically lasagna.
Sassy as
So,
fuck. Doesn't even hate mice.
what a pitch he must have made to the newspaper when he started that cartoon.
And there's like... And he's like, and the owner can kind of understand him.
And the owner can kind of understand him. There's
then-
also a dog, Odie, who's like an idiot.
But then if Garfield wasn't in it, it still makes sense, and it's just really sad.
It's really sad that the
Yeah,
owner
it is.
just always wanted a cat and couldn't get it because of his allergies, so now he just talks to nobody.
And is Garfield really even real?
I don't know. Check it out. Go to www.garfieldwithoutgarfield.com. Actually, I don't know if that's the website, but
it's
you just
something like
Google
that,
it,
yeah.
and it'll probably be the first one. Great. If you haven't seen it, highly
If you want to
recommend
be really
it.
depressed,
It's really good.
check it out.
Also, you can look up the most depressing Garfield comic on google.com. You search for that, and then you'll find a super depressing Halloween. They did one for like the month of October, like 15 years ago, and it's super depressing. It's actually really spooky, like spooky in real life. If I recall correctly, basically Garfield wakes up and the house that they live in is like abandoned. And John is dead, and then Odie is like run away. So he's like really lonely and depressed. And yeah, it's an actual strip that they ran for about 4 weeks in October. Not funny at all. Not the least bit. It's just insanely depressing. But you know what? That's Garfield. Garfield in a nutshell. It's like life. That's how life is. Sorry if that was depressing.
Damn, that is fucking depressing.
That's how life is, bro.
You have
Oh.
no idea how alone you are.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Right? Isn't that wild?
I have to stop reading it. It's making me sad.
Wild stuff. Wild and crazy stuff. All right, enough gabbing. Let's go. We're going top of the pile. Only book of the week from this publisher.
Nah, dude, Batman.
Oh, there's two. Never mind. I was going to have you guess it. You already know it's DC. I guess we'll start off with Batman. Tom King. You know the deal. We've been reviewing it day in, day out. Every time it comes out. I think we've been doing it since number 1, have we? Or did we come in after number 1? Have we reviewed it like 56 times? No, we must have came in a little bit.
Yeah, because it might have been in the Lost tape.
A
Because
little
I was
bit.
saying the first issue of his run was the best single Batman issue of all time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was on the Lost tapes or not, but
I don't know. This one, though, proves that he is the hardest dude. So, from last issue, if you guys don't recall or you don't read, more or less KG Beast shoots Nightwing in the head with a sniper rifle. So now Batman is on the hunt for him. It's not as difficult or not as easy as you would think, because apparently he has killed everyone that is like associated with him, so they don't really know where he's at. So he finds a very loose connection in his father, and his father lives basically in the middle of nowhere in Russia, and it's so cold. I'm guessing it's Siberia, because I think
Yeah.
Siberia is like the coldest place on Earth.
and it's huge.
And it's and he can't even get like bat planes there because they just freeze and then fall out of the sky, I'm guessing. I don't know how it works. So he's just walking. He's walking there. That's how determined he is, because he basically shot his son and didn't kill him. I actually don't really know. I didn't read Nightwing, so I don't know what happened with him. He has like amnesia now?
Yeah. I mean, he's just like fighting dudes and shit. It's really stupid.
Yeah, but I liked this issue though. It kind of
too.
shows how protective he is, and almost like, I guess, how far he's willing to go for somebody he loves, which is clearly, that's why Catwoman has taken such a toll on him, because he was in love with her, and then she broke his heart,
broke it right in half.
and then his foster child gets shot in the fucking head.
Boom!
What a day!
Headshot.
What a month for old Bruce. First your girl dumps you at the altar, and then your son gets shot in the head. He never gets any breaks, does he?
Nah.
People always get shot around him, too.
Bunch of fucking dicks.
Well put. Bunch of fucking dicks. So that's that Batman issue in a nutshell. What'd you think? You have anything else to add for that one?
Nah.
We actually don't have it in front of me, so I'm struggling a little bit and actually like kind of reviewing it. But it's like most of them. I think this is one of the more stronger issues, where his run is very hit or miss, as you probably heard us say a million times. I think that this
whole run
arc
is
seems
like
pretty cool.
Yeah, the arc is like a peak. Seems like it could peak really good, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
there's a good chance that Batman just like kills this guy. Is the way it looks like it might be going, or something like that.
That would be so cool.
That would be amazing. He's like, I could have killed you, but I didn't. And you're like, Batman, you could have killed
but then
everybody.
I did, and then
But
he
then
just
I
kills
didn't.
him, and I'm like,
It's like
oh,
crack,
man.
and you're like, what?
And then he's like, you should have just killed me, Batman, because now I'm gonna kill myself, and everybody's gonna think it's you. And then he's like, don't bother, and he just kills him.
Oh
It would be
shit,
sweet.
that would be sweet.
Or if he nightfalls his ass and just breaks his back.
Oh,
he's
that's
like-
that's what he
Yeah,
does, dude. That would be
so
awesome.
sweet. He's like, you ain't never hurt anybody again. And then he just leaves him there.
And he
he's
leaves
like,
him in the
"Don't
middle of
fucking
this
leave
Siberia,
me."
like he can't do
Yeah,
anything.
he's like, don't leave me here, I'll freeze.
He's like,
I don't care.
you're as good as dead. So he doesn't kill him, but he
He's
like,
like,
kind of kills him.
I'm gonna fucking die out here, and he just throws him like a book of matches, and he's like, good luck. That would be so sweet.
That would be
That
so
would be
sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah. That's how it should end. It probably won't, though. It'll probably be something lame. Like, it just
Some
beats the
weird
shit
political
out of him,
thing.
and then it'll be like, yeah, he's like, I got the tapes. I know what Hillary did.
Oh my.
Oh, my. Moving on. Oh, what grade would you give it?
I would give it probably B plus.
I go
A
B.
minus, maybe.
Yeah, I go B. I think it's a strong arc.
And the name of the arc is so cool, Beast of Burden.
Yes,
I was
I
just
know.
like, yo, this is so sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet.
It's, you know what? It's so sweet.
Coming in at number 2, Tinian the Fourth, Jesus Marino. We're talking The Witching Hour, number 1, Wonder Woman, Justice League Dark. This is like kind of a continuation of the Justice League Dark book. I know that it's going to tie into it, and this is kind of the start of it. But for those of you who don't know, they're really playing up like the magical aspect of Wonder Woman. It seems to be like this new thing that they're pushing, where like not only is she this like badass, Amazonian princess, but she also has like magic powers, which is like it's like a newer thing. It happened a little bit in Azzarella's run in the New 52, and I don't know. I'm not like a huge Wonder Woman fan, so I don't know if it's always been there. And, like magic has always been kind of a thing with her.
Well, the Themyscirians were supposed to be like magical
Sure.
at some point, but I didn't know if they could like shoot magic.
But she's like on par now with like Zatanna and like people who are like Constantine that are like
But I don't think
associated with magic.
I don't think it's her. I think it's that lady taking over her body. This, that weird witch.
There's a new
oracle.
game in time. Let me do a little pitch here. So there's a new game in town. Much like in Justice League Dark, if you're following that, it's like a new kind of like magic god, I guess, or some sort of god of magic. And she's popping up and basically killing magic users, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop her. Which is very similar to the Justice League Dark one, which is, I guess, why it's tied in, or if they just so happen to be doing like two very similar storylines, because the other one is like a creature. Was it Upside Down Man?
Yeah, and it's
He's
so
like, wait,
dumb.
yeah.
Because he just looks like the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, and
Yeah.
he's called the fucking Upside Down Man.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
At least this one is like, this is some sort of, witch god or something that they, like a bunch of people worship. So she pops up and she's like, yo, y'all have been abusing magic, I'm gonna kill you.
And then she can like transform herself into like a magic user and take over their bodies.
Something like that. Yeah.
I thought it was awful.
You thought it was bad?
Yeah, I like groaned like every other page.
I didn't mind it as much, and for a $5 book, it's a meaty one.
It's a lot of
getting a lot of pages
a lot of
there.
reading in there.
Which some people is bad, some people like reading. I don't know.
Besides Constantine, though, like the DC Magic universe is kind of boring to me. Like sometimes Dr. Fate is cool, and it's more that he just looks cool, and it's cool when he's on like the JSA. But when they go down the magic rabbit hole, I'm just like, God, shut the fuck up.
Magic in general in the big two is kind of like shitty though, if you think about it. Like even they got Doctor Strange and Marvel, and that's like 8.
Yeah, but even
Magic,
Doctor
I guess,
Strange
X-Men, like they at least do it a
uses
little.
magic in like the main universe. To when there's like a big magic story in DC, it's like its own thing, and I'm supposed to care, and I don't.
Yeah, and then they include some people who I don't really consider to be magic, but I guess they are, like Swamp Thing, because I always thought he was like his own thing. It was more like an elemental sort of thing.
He's like the elemental part of magic.
Right. So, but he's been getting pumped, or he's been getting punked. He like gets big and stuff, and people just destroy him.
Yeah.
But I guess you can do that because he's Swamp Thing, so he's very
just like a plant.
Yeah, he's very easy like cannon fodder to be like. He's like, I'm gonna protect everyone, and then they're like, I'm turning you into ash, and he's like, yeah, I got all these bodies down below in the Justice League headquarters, so the Hall of Justice.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Like the other magic users, they're like, Zatanna, help us, and she's like, I can't use magic.
She can't do her backwards magic because that'll summon the Upside Down Man. Then they couldn't do both at once.
Yeah, dude, the Upside Down Man can eat a fucking dick. It's so stupid.
First appearance, Justice League Dark #2, Upside Down Man. First cover too, I think. On
Cover's
B.
#3.
Oh, cover. First appearance, that was on 2. Yeah, they're like the same character, so I don't know. I'm guessing it's gotta be they're going to tie them together. They're two badass, otherworldly magic users that come, and like all the magic people are like, I can't do it, and it's like, bros, what good are you?
Yeah,
like you're like never around, and then when you are around, it's like when this big magic thing is happening, and you're like, yeah, I can't do my magic, or my magic sucks.
Yeah, and they're like, yo, let's fight the biggest, worst magic user ever. Zatanna, who can't use magic, Detective Chimp, and Man-Bat. Get the fuck out of here with that. I know you put that team together because you were like, this will be fun. And then after like one issue, you were like, oh fuck.
Well, I don't remember if I said it on the podcast or I said it to you, but I had read a rumor on Bleeding Cool or one of those websites, credit where credit's due, of course, and that had said that they had a source inside DC that was saying that these Justice League titles were like dead on arrival. Like before they came out, like Dark and Odyssey and all that, like editorial was like done with them. Like they did not care about them at all.
Because they're whack as shit.
I don't mind Justice League Dark. Odyssey I barely got through, so I don't think I will continue reading that.
Like a lot of recent DC books, which sucks that I'm saying it, is if we didn't have to read this for the podcast, I would not have read it.
A lot of DC books?
Yeah, I feel like I've been saying that a lot about DC books recently.
Damn.
And that sucks. I don't want to say
Well,
that.
I mean, the newer ones, I think, for sure. There haven't been a whole lot of number ones,
That's
because the
true.
biggest line was what? New Age of Heroes or whatever?
Yeah,
which
but
is like
those
for
were
the most
trash.
part.
Justice League Odyssey was horrendous.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it might even be at New York Comic Con. I feel like it's got to be coming. They're already starting to do it with Green Lantern. They got to announce like a reboot or a rebranding or well, you got to look because what? Batman's at like 56.
Get Snyder off Justice League. That book sucks. Start a JSA book that everybody wants with Jeff Johns.
They're
It's
gonna
so
do
easy.
they're gonna do it, but it's gonna be at the end of Watchmen in 2020 when Watchmen ends.
That book sucks.
Well, did you read the last one? It has I think it has like a couple JSA characters
he's
and
been
Legion.
He's been in a couple of shows.
Yeah.
But that book sucks.
I don't know. All right, that's it for DC. Oh, you want to give grades? I'll go
F.
F, dude. There's no way it's an F. It's like a C.
No, the story sucks. The art's bad. It's too long. They charge you an extra $1.
I don't mind either of those things, and I think the extra $1 you actually get your money's worth. So, but the story, I'll probably continue to follow it, but I'm going C.
I'm going, all right, D-.
F is a strong statement. F is like you would rather like eat sand than read this.
If somebody gave me a cup of sand or to read that book again, I would probably eat the cup
You
of
would
sand.
eat the cup of
I would
sand?
probably eat the cup of sand.
Damn. All right, guys, tune in to Facebook next week when I bring in a cup of sand for Troy to eat.
Well, then you'd also have to bring like a gun, because I'd be like, all right, I'm not doing either.
And then I'm
Then you'd
like,
have to
all
be
right,
like-
the third option.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it going to be? Tune in next week when you see Troy kill himself in a very dark issue of the Comic Madness Variety Hour. And then it'll just be me. And you know what? That's fine. Whatever. Sorry, Troy.
Oh, I thought you would hold me at gunpoint to eat the sand or read the book.
Oh.
I wasn't gonna self-say.
Oh. Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, a
That's
little
super
bit.
awkward.
So, Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger #1, written by Mark Russell and art done by Bob Q. Art and colors, Bob Q.
All right, Bob Q.
Bob Q. Only a name that would exist in a Dynamite book. Where like it'll be like arts and colors by Wolf Tom. Tom Wolf, or no, Tom Wolf is the governor. Wolf Tom. We'll go with Wolf Tom, and you'll be like, what? Lone Ranger, for those of you who don't know, he is the last of a gang of rangers in Texas during the 1800s.
I think
guess.
it's kind of just like whatever.
Yeah, okay, they kind of, yeah. Well, they talk about slavery, so
Well,
it's
this
gotta
one
be
is
like...
this particular one is put in like a very specific point.
Right, so this is when they were starting to kind of
Divide up the West.
divide and tame the Wild West so that people couldn't move as freely and that, you know, the rich would keep getting richer and then the poor would just kind of get pushed out. And the poor in this case is basically white landowners or white people who don't own land because there wasn't really a whole lot of
or they own land, but people with more connections or money were just
they
like,
could just
"This
like
is mine
roll them
now."
over, yeah. And then Indians who obviously, if you know anything about history,
Yeah.
didn't work out too well for them.
Yeah.
So they were getting pushed out. Their lands kept doing it, and it looks like it's gonna keep going. But anyway, yeah, Lone Ranger. What did you think?
I both liked it and disliked it at the same time because
Why
I
is
love the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. The old show, the comics, basically anything they do.
Everybody knows that.
I'm into it. And if you didn't know it, now you know.
Now you know. Fun fact.
But I dislike the politicalness of it because they're trying to make it current.
Okay.
Like everything they're doing is like just speaking to the current political climate, and
So you didn't like that aspect?
I did not like that aspect of it. Like I'm not Steve. I don't mind politics in my comics, but I don't need like the Lone Ranger using old stuff to try to teach like current politics.
You know what's funny? I did find it weird that at the end when he's meeting up with Tonto and he just looks into the panel and he says legalize it. And I was like, wow, that's pretty
Yeah, that's exactly. So like I don't it was a weird, it felt like very shoehorned in.
yeah.
Like he was trying to send a message and he's like, "Oh, what book do we use? Let me just roll my Rolodex. Lone Ranger."
So you
But
think
art was, Bob Q's art was good though.
Yeah, Bob Q's art was good.
It was a
I
little-
did not mind it. I'm definitely not gonna kick it out of bed.
It was a little
plain.
plain maybe, but it was like really clean.
I think it fits well for him. you
Yeah,
know?
it fit really well for the story.
I would love to see an all red do it, but you know,
Yeah,
because
that
he has a
cover,
cover on. He
Oh,
has.
it's so sweet.
I think he's like the B cover or maybe the C cover. Yeah, like, but no, I didn't mind it. I'm not a huge Lone Ranger guy. I'm not really so into the older stuff like Troy is. Like, I don't really care for the Shadow or
Yeah, but
Doctor.
I'm old.
Yeah,
That's the
you
point.
also
Yeah.
are old. So Lone Ranger doesn't really do it for me. I'm more of a Zorro guy.
Which we would have done, but we got like
Which
one copy.
we got one copy of. So
Somebody bought it, and I was
and
like,
that's I don't even know why that is because I think that was like a show that I would watch. It would be on at like Down at the Shore a couple years in a row, and I would watch it. Like I have weird. It's like associated with the shore,
Didn't
like going down the shore. Like
Antonio Banderas
they did
do
the
a Zorro
movie, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why that exists. I have this very like vivid memory and just watching Zorro. So
I see. I always
Weirdo
like
child,
the
yeah.
cowboy stuff from watching it with my grandpa.
okay.
Lone Ranger, Gunsmoke, all that shit.
Mhm.
You know, he always would be watching the old movies, the old black and whites.
Old dudes love cowboys.
Yeah, but my grandpa was like also a cowboy, so you
That's
know,
true. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
He like rode his.
We got a couple
rode his
non-cowboys
horse to
though that
school
are
and
like,
shit.
oh, uphill in the snow,
No, I think Tennessee's pretty flat.
and also
I don't
doesn't
know
see a
that.
lot of snow.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Grades.
Let's see, which sucks for me because I was like so happy when it came out.
Yeah, I see. For me, it wasn't so much. I go C plus. I'll go right around the same vein.
I mean, I'm gonna continue reading it just because it's the Lone Ranger. But
Yeah, Lone Ranger is one of those weird books that'll like come out for 20 issues and then disappear for like 2 or 3
yeah,
years.
this is the Lone Ranger Volume 3.
All
number
right,
one.
yeah. I don't
Lone
know
Ranger
why.
Volume 1 is amazing though. If you guys are ever looking for anything to read, the first 20 issues or so are like unbelievable. And it was John Cassaday in his prime.
By Crom. That sounds good.
It's
Conan
funny,
coming
'cause
soon.
Conan is also awesome.
Super excited
The
for
Tim
the
Truman
Marvel.
Conan run is ridiculous.
You know what's really good is it's going to happen where I feel like Dark Horse is going to do the same thing they did with Star Wars when they're losing the rights and they're just going to blow out all the Conan stuff.
Oh,
So you
dude,
can
that's
get
gonna be
like
so- the
omnibuses for
hardcovers
like
and
$10.
shit.
Yeah.
Whew, I'm gonna get them all.
They did it for the Star Wars. I might actually, and I hate to say it because I'm not a digital guy, but I think with Star Wars they did something crazy where it was like $75 and you got like every single thing that they did.
Damn, that is
So yeah, if they do it for Conan, I'll probably do it. Cause I'm super stoked for that Marvel
crazy.
one.
Dude, it's gonna be so sweet.
So sweet.
And when
Jason
they bring
Aaron?
him, when they do a Conan fucking Thor crossover,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like just fucking lose my shit. Dude.
It's gonna
I wanna
happen.
go to that.
And because he's writing both, it's
Yeah,
like bound to
why
happen.
not?
He's gonna get like Thor's gonna get sucked into some sort of time portal,
Yeah.
and he's gonna meet up with him, and they're just the same character.
And it would be cool if he got sucked through the time portal and he was really hard and shit, but like the Asgardians gods didn't exist then, so he was just like as badass as Conan.
Right, it would have to be something like
to where
that.
like he
yeah.
lost like his godly powers, but he
he
was still
seems, like,
fucking
super
huge and
strong
knew how to
and, like,
fight.
yeah, that would be
the
cool.
shit. And he fucking Conan's axing people and he's hammering people.
Damn.
Dude. There you go, Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron, there you go. Here's a quick one too. During the fight scene, they swap weapons because Mjolnir no longer has the power, so they're like catch, and they swap, and he's got the axe, and then Conan's got
dude, fucking Thor throws it, and then he holds his hand out for it to come back, and it doesn't.
Yes.
And fucking
Yes.
Conan picks it up, and he's like, "You fool!" and just throws it to him. And then Thor's like, "How do you pick it up?"
Huh? He's gonna go whole.
There you go.
There you go.
There you
Written.
go.
It's already done, Jason Aaron.
Just mention us in the
throw one out there. Blackbird, issue 1. A lot of number ones this episode you're gonna find. Sam Humphries, Jen Bartel. This is a book about a young woman who experiences a bit of a tragedy at a young age. Essentially, there's an earthquake, and she sees what appears to be some otherworldly god or something, creature. It's like a giant lion. And these magic users pop up then and make everyone forget.
Everybody gets Men in Black.
They get Men in Black and they all forget, except for her for some reason. So it pretty much destroys her life because for the next 10 years or so, she is searching for these magic users. Obviously, nobody believes her. She seems like a little bit of a crackpot, and her life is being destroyed by it.
She's also doing the alcohol.
She's also doing the alcohol and the other drugs, so that doesn't help things. And then at the end of the book, what happens is, it turns out she was right all along. The creature pops back and steals her sister and not her.
And
so
she's mad about
steals the non-believer. And, this book was, so first off,
it's fucking weird.
It's weird. I like the colors. I'm not sold on the art. I think the color palette is really cool. It is weird. It's a very, it's one of those books where I would say the first half or whatever, I was like, what is going on with this book? Like, why do I care? Like, where is it going?
Yeah.
And then it slowly started to, reveal itself. And,
it felt very wicked and divine.
Right.
Which, in a not good way.
I don't know. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I will continue to read it, but it didn't sell me right away because I'm afraid that it might just be her looking for magic stuff for a long ass time before she actually finds it. So it kind of depends on how quickly she is able to find the magical community or the otherworldliness of this world that she lives in.
Yeah, I agree. It could go really shitty real fast.
Right, exactly. If it continues on where she's living her day-to-day life and nobody believes her for the next 2 issues, then I'm out.
But if that magic cat is just yo, let's go fuck some shit up magically, yeah. I'm like, oh,
okay,
all right.
That
sounds good.
By the way, and this is complete aside, it has an ad for, I guess, the next Gillen book, and it looks like it's called It Die, and it's called When Fantasy Gets Real. And it looks like it's some sort of people play Dungeons and Dragons, and then if you die in the game, you die for real. The 1-page ad makes it look super sweet. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but
yeah,
right? Yeah, how cool is that?
And the crowded ad is cool too.
The crowded ad is actually really cool too. Yeah.
So the best 2 parts of the books were the 2 ads in
That's what stood out for me. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I also didn't hate it. I agree with you that the color palette they use is really strong. And kind of
it's
makes you want to keep going.
Yeah.
Even when I didn't want to. But, yeah.
So it's probably right there in the middle for me. I'd probably go C+, B-, somewhere right there.
Yeah, I'd just go hard C.
Hard C. Yeah, nothing crazy. I don't think I'd recommend it yet, but I'm also not going to stop people from buying it.
No,
there's some books.
That's definitely one.
Yeah.
That's definitely a give it 3.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. This is a little bit of a curveball here. It's back. Gerard Way, Gabriel Ba, Umbrella Academy. It's been a long ass time since the last one. Was Dallas the last one?
Dallas was the last one.
And that had to have been 7 years ago. It was probably more than 5, right?
Yeah, give us a rundown and I'll look it up.
Yeah, so this is much like most of Way's stuff. It is actually very confusing, at least for me, especially as somebody who hasn't really read the Umbrella Academy stuff since it's come out. And as I had mentioned, it has been a long time. I feel like the first one even started before I like started reading
2009.
comics.
It ended in 2009.
Yeah.
It's a long run.
I don't really. So the guy, one of their enemies, gets captured or put into this place called the Infinity Hotel. Is that what it was called, or
No, the Hotel Oblivion.
the Hotel Oblivion? And it's some real creepy kind of hotel where it looks like the people are like more prisoners than anything. That's the whole name of this series, is called Hotel Oblivion. And it's just like a catch up of what the characters have been doing in between, I guess, the past 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Like the team it's one of those things where the team is like divided. The big monkey guy, I forget what his name is like overweight, and then is kind of washed up and is like doing superhero stuff in like Tokyo. And some of the other members are kind of in the same boat. It's one of those books where unless you've read this recently or you're like a super big fan of Umbrella Academy, it's definitely not a jumping on point by any means.
No.
Because like I had said,
even close.
I had read those, but I don't really remember them too much because it's been so long, and I was like halfway I knew what was going on. I feel like your best bet, unless you've read it recently, is probably to read, because there was 2 trades?
Yeah.
The 2 trades, and then immediately jump into this, because as you could probably tell from listening to my terrible description of the book, you're probably like, I have no idea what it was about.
I liked it a lot, but I had recently reread Umbrella Academy. So like Frank said, if you read it in 2009, you're just gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I read it recently enough to at least get it. It's still pretty confusing. His books are like a lot, a few writers where you read one and you're like, I don't get it, and then after you read it all, it clicks.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it only clicks for him sometimes. Otherwise, it's just nonsense.
He's like a shittier like Grant Morrison, I feel like, is like what he's kind of starting to prove to me now that there's more of a like bed of work that he has, instead of it used to just be like Umbrella Academy, and now he's written a lot more since then. He's like a shittier like Grant Morrison. Or because like at least
or
his
like
stuff
like a shittier Hickman,
Hickman,
he writes like these long things, and then once you get to the end, you're like, oh. But sometimes when you get to the end, you're like, oh, that still didn't make sense.
Yeah, he's a weird one. He's like a good writer, but he's a good writer in his own right, but he's just a shittier version of like a bunch of other writers.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
You're not wrong.
He's like pieces of other writers, but if you compare him against, and you're like, oh, he's like this, you're like, yeah, he's the shittier version of that. So I don't know. I know he's a big comic fan, so he probably just has taken a bunch of stuff from different people and kind of jumbles it all together into his own style.
I liked it. I'll give it probably B. What's a B?
I'll go B minus. I'll go B minus, C plus again. I feel like I've given this every book this episode, but the fact of the matter is, if you haven't read it, you're not a fan, you're not gonna enjoy it. And if you haven't read it recently, you have to go back and read it. Yeah. So because of that, I can't really give it a stronger grade, so I'm gonna go I'll just go C plus.
I reread it when I first heard that this book was solicited, so it's pretty fresh.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, moving on. Walking Dead, 184.
Eugene Tinkers.
Tinkerman. Is that... Oh, Eugene Tinkers.
They're all named, which I didn't know.
Eugene
recently.
Tinkers. So what do you think happens then? I'm going to tell you what.
He's trying to tank that ass.
He's going to tank that ass. Eugene, what's going on in this issue? Eugene trying to build up a train again to get, a good supply going from all communities. And they were like, this is going to take a while. And he's like, yeah, but, like, what else do we got going on? Like, who the fuck cares how long it's going to take to build this train? What do you got to go? You got to go to work? Oh, wait, that's right. It's destroyed. Earth's destroyed. What are you gonna do?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? They stop the riot, so they do that. It wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. Michonne gets everybody off. Rick actually helps the poor people, which makes the mayor
Cleaning up the trash.
cleaning up the trash, which makes the mayor look good. She don't seem too happy about it because she didn't want to get her hands dirty. And then when they're confronted, Rick's all like, I'm helping. And the mayor's like, oh, yeah, I'm helping too. And she didn't want to. She didn't want
Nah,
to.
she a bitch.
What else happens in this one? Oh, there's the new black dude and the crazy woman who's just Harley Quinn are like shacking up.
Yeah, and I
guess.
definitely thought that she was supposed to be like 12, so it was super weird when I got to that part.
I don't know why her hair's so wild though.
Because it's dirty, bro.
Yeah, but they're in like the community that has like jacuzzis and shit. You don't think the first thing she would want to do is like get in a shower? I would, but then again, I shower like 3 times a day, so.
He's showering right now.
I'm showering right now. I'm calling in from the shower.
And then at the end, where he's like, "What the fuck do you mean no?" It's like Rick fucking Grimes said no, bro. Chill yourself.
Yeah, I'm really actually getting. So then Dwight is like, "Oh, we got to do something about this police or
I'm
blah
gonna
blah
take
blah."
it over.
And Dwight is like, I'm like sick and tired of Dwight's shit.
Dwight it out,
Because
dude.
the like past 20 issues has been like he's like the kind of will they won't they villain where he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight these people. Oh no, now I'm not. And then it's just like kind of dumb.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, maybe the way Negan did it, but I'll do it better." And Rick's like, "No," and he's like, "What the fuck do you mean no?" It's like, dude, Rick said no. You're fucking Dwight, dude. Get out of here. Get over yourself.
Yeah, like
Corny
Dwight,
ass motherfucker. I'm Dwighted out, dude.
get out of here.
I'm over all the characters in this book though.
I'm gonna Dwight him out.
Like none of the characters, I've lost interest in basically every character in this book, except Negan, and they don't have him around anymore.
Yeah, which I mean, he's got to be coming back soon, right? A character like that, you think they're just
He
never
just
gonna
walked
come
off
back?
into the sunset, and that was it.
I don't know. Well, I had read that I think it was 172 or something. This is news at a Comic-Con. That Kirkman had said was going to be the quote-unquote longest arc they've ever done, which I don't know what exactly that
172 was
means.
12 issues ago.
I don't know. It's like
192?
yeah, it's
Okay.
like coming up soon. Where he said it's going to be the longest arc that they've ever done, which is pretty crazy because I feel like not the Whisperer War. What was the one with Negan? I thought that was like 20 issues, wasn't that?
Oh.
The what war or whatever was that? You know,
I know
yeah,
what
it was
you're
a
saying. I forget the
long
name.
time. It was like 2 years or something crazy. It went on for a long time. So my theory is it's going to be aliens.
Okay.
I think aliens are going to come down, and it's going to be like a 30-issue arc, and they're going to be like, we got to get rid of these aliens. And they
We
team
gotta.
up with the zombies, because that's the twist, because you're not expecting it. So the zombies help them fight the aliens. And then the aliens realize that it's too difficult to take over Earth, because aliens, or the humans, and the zombies have teamed up. And then the aliens go away.
And then they shoot zombies out of like catapults onto the aliens.
Right. Then they go away, and then the humans are like, zombies, take these blankets, you'll be safe under them. It's getting cold out there, and guess what happens? The zombies get sick, and they die, and humanity wins. That's my theory. That's what I think is going to happen in Walking Dead.
It'd be way cooler if the aliens came, but it was just invincible.
Yeah, that
That
would
would
be
be, like,
cool.
so much
Yeah.
cooler.
They're like, aliens, And he's like, hey, guys, it's me.
It's me, Invincible. Don't worry, I'll beat up all these guys.
We're going to
And
add you to the Empire and then help you out with your zombie problem.
I know we've been doing this book every since it's come out, but motherfuck, am I tired of this book?
Do you think we should retire it?
No, we can't, dude. This is what people tune in for.
They tune in for our hot takes of The Walking Dead, which is just like 99% of the time you saying it
We're just
sucks.
shitting on it.
And then the one time, the one issue, it's like really good, and you're like, this is why I read this book.
I think that's basically everybody at this point.
With The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Alright, we're done with that.
Yes.
There we go. Moving on. A lot of indie this week. Dead Rabbits, new #1 by Jerry Dugan and John McCree. Also, Mike Spicer does something. He is, he's the colorist, though. Sorry, Mike Spicer. What is Dead Rabbit about? It's about a guy who is sort of an anti-villain. He's kind of like the Punisher meets like Robin Hood, I guess. And he goes around where he used to in the 90s. He would go around and he would basically rob from banks and like villains and stuff. And he was more like Punisher in the fact that he killed, but it seemed like he only killed bad guys and would really mess them up. And this book takes place pretty much 10 years after that. He had a big heist 10 years ago where he had stolen like a couple $1,000,000 and then he kind of retired and he disappeared. But we're joining him at a time where his money is like run out. So he's like struggling with trying to be good. He works at like a Walmart.
Struggling with being old.
Being old, like not as spry as he was in the 90s.
Like the panel where he says, whoever guessed wiping his ass standing up because his hemorrhoids are butt fucking him to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
And his wife's not doing too well. She's in a wheelchair, and I imagine she has some sort of illness. She has a seizure towards the end. But he comes out of retirement, so he basically decides that, you know, the straight and narrow life isn't for him now that he has run out of money. So he's going back to being, is his name Dead Rabbit, I think?
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Me
He's
too.
like a huge
It's
badass.
so cool.
It's funny because I don't like Jerry Dugan's stuff that he does for Marvel, but I realized this morning that I like his independent stuff. A book we didn't really cover was Analog that he had done, which is a cyber dystopian noir. I didn't realize that was him until this book, and I really enjoy that one too. So, but I hate his Marvel stuff.
Story's awesome, art's awesome, idea's awesome, character design is awesome.
Yeah, if you
There's-
like The Punisher or pretty much any sort of crime story, you should probably be picking this up.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of like Ed Brubaker stuff or like I said, Punisher stuff, things like that, this one is up your alley.
There was parts of it that I didn't quite get, but it was like minor stuff. Like, does he have super strength? Because he just punches like a staircase in half, and I'm like, I couldn't do that, you know.
I don't know. It's
Or
hard to
is it just,
say. I
like-
think he's just like well trained.
And
This is kind of what I got because he still gets shot and stuff in some of the flashbacks.
yeah, that's true. And
So,
yeah, like he
I
just
think
like
he's like a-
punches
yeah.
this fucking staircase in half, or
I think
oh
it's
no,
just
he
like
punches out a part of it. Okay, I
yeah,
got it wrong.
he's like the Punisher. He's still human, but I think he's just like way badass.
Yeah, and he looks so cool.
Yeah, he definitely does. His costume design is really neat for how simple it is. It's just like this guy who wears like a suit and this mask with like just red X's for eyes.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's awesome.
It is awesome. I would
And
say
there's like a little bit more to it, but I liked it so much that it's like you don't want to give it all away. Because I'm gonna say like A plus, pick it up.
yeah, I'll go B plus. Definitely worth picking up. Yeah, I guess you're right. You don't want to say anything more about it. It's cool. It's got really good action scenes too.
Yeah, like it's really like kinetically well done.
Right. All right. Last one of the episode. Here we go.
Is it? No.
No, not the
Oh,
for
last
indie.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Whoa.
Let me finish my stuff. Sparrowhawk, number 1 of 5, Delilah S. Dawson and Matthias Basla. This is a book. In the back, the blurb is perfect. Teen Victorian Fairy Fight Club. Sparrowhawk. What is it about? Well, it's about a teen in what appears to be Victorian London. Things are not going her way, as is usually the case in comic books, and she swaps places with what appears to be a demon. So the demon takes over her body, and then she ends up going to this magical fairy world where she finds out that in order for her to get stronger, for her to get wings, for her to get magic powers, things like that, she has to essentially beat the shit out of other demons and monsters in the realm, and then she can like absorb their power. So it's like a weird
pretty much it,
Highlander like sort of thing. But yeah, she's like this just teen Victorian like princess, I think.
And then it's like a teen Victorian fairy fight club.
Fairy Fight Club. Really like the colors in it. Super cool. This was another book where I was telling Troy, I would say 3/4 of it, I was like very close to giving up until it gets to the part where
She goes through the mirror.
she goes through the mirror, and then it starts to kind of reveal what the hell's going on and how this world works. So for her to basically get more powerful, she just has to kill things. And things that are more powerful than her, and she will get more power. Pretty
He
straightforward.
pretty much. That's about it. He hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Art's cool. Color scheme's cool. Idea's cool. Page layout I wasn't super into.
No.
But
It's a limited series. It's 1 of 5, which I actually didn't know until I was just reading it off today.
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because
I think it'll do well
5
as,
seems-
like,
seems
5 is good.
just right.
Yeah.
I thought it was only okay.
Why'd you think it was only
I thought
okay?
I don't know. I felt like it's been done before.
That's fair, I think.
The ferry going through the mirror to like another world's been done. You find familiars on the other side that'll help you, but they're like, are they your friends? I don't know.
Yeah, they're, like, evil, somewhat.
They certainly look evil.
I'm going B.
I'll go like C minus.
Damn, dude. So you really didn't like that
Yeah,
book.
no, not really.
It's okay. We only have like 100 copies of it, so if you're interested, come on in. The glowing reviews we just gave of that book.
You just gave it a B plus.
I give it a B.
Oh.
It's
For
okay.
you, B. You either get a C or a B.
Well,
you don't
yeah,
get-
because I don't really go A and F. A and F is like it's either really, really good or it's really, really bad. Your auto is like A and F.
What did we do? Did we give grades to Dead Rabbit?
I don't remember. Did we?
I don't know. Either way, I give it an A.
Yeah, I'll go B plus. Just fucking with you. A minus on that one. There you go.
There you go. So
Here you
definitely
go.
Pick up Dead Rabbit.
Yeah, definitely do. Does this sound like something you would be into? Marvel, #1. Writer is Tim Seeley. Penciler is Carlos Villa, with inker being Juan Vasquez. And starring Shatterstar!
Your favorite character.
X-Force character. Finally, in its own limited series, even though they won't tell you
The
that.
90s are back.
The 90s are back. They won't tell you. It just says a #1. It makes no mention of it being a limited series. I can guarantee you that I'm fairly certain this is a 5-issue series. There's no way that he's getting an ongoing.
I don't know. After this one, maybe.
What is it about?
What is it
Shatterstar. He is a landlord, and
Lord
he
in them
owns
lands.
Lord in the lands, and he owns the building that houses misplaced versions of characters from alternate dimensions. So you have a dog that talks, two
Very Men in Black. Another Men in Black reference.
Conan-like characters from another universe, a mutant from another universe called the End Woman. There's a Night Thrasher from Earth 90214 who is like super old.
He has Parkinson's.
And then Tina Cook, who is from, I believe, our Earth. And so they all live there, and he loves it. He loves being a landlord. But guess what? Mojoverse ain't done with him yet. They sent it in a kill squad, and they come in and they basically kill all the people that live there, or so like
They
capture
steal
them.
them
I
all,
don't know what the hell it is. So now he's dragged back into being Shatterstar, the #1 star of the Mojoverse. Oh, who the fuck? Why was this a thing?
I loved it.
Wow. I have no idea how this came. Like, why would they make this?
Tim sexist ass Seeley redeems himself.
I disagree. I thought it was boring.
Oh, I thought it was so much fun. It was so silly.
Yeah, well,
It
I
was
don't
exactly. It was just like silly enough to keep going.
see. I
Then
think
the serious parts were serious enough to be like, oh, now I'm semi-interested.
for me, the characters didn't do it for me. I don't really care about Shatterstar, so to either introduce characters that are new or so obscure that I could care less about them.
You don't think it was sweet when old ass Night Thrasher still killed that guy?
Yeah, that was cool, but I don't like Night Thrasher. I like the idea of an old dude killing a guy, though.
Night Thrasher rules. Dude.
Night Thrasher's lame. Yo, check out my skateboard. I'm like a hip young Batman that Marvel made. Ugh. Ugh.
You're not wrong. It was stupid fun that Marvel does every once and then, like Squirrel Girl or something. Where it's just fun enough where you're like, all right, I'm into that.
Well, I must hate fun then because I'm going D plus on that one.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, after that whole
I would say
conversation.
like probably B.
Wow.
I really liked it a lot.
It's definitely the biggest divide of this episode.
The biggest divide ever.
Shatterstar. It might be.
Shatterstar.
Who would have thought? Who would have
Who would
thought?
have thought Tim Seeley?
Yeah, who would have thought Tim Seeley shit the bed and made a terrible comic? I did. I know.
Frank knew.
I knew. Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Ah, that's
Your books are alright. Oh no, I was talking about Tim Seeley,
Oh,
not
no,
you.
dude,
I
your
don't
books
care
are
about
trash,
you.
dude.
Whatever. Shatterstar. Moving on, second to last issue of the episode. And I want to say before we start this one, this was one of those pain in the ass weeks where there was like way too many books. So you're gonna find that there was a couple books that we wanted to do, but they actually got cut because there was just so many number ones that came out, and for the most part, we like to try and cover the number ones.
Especially indie number ones.
Yeah, when they
That's
come
all.
out, they usually get like precedence over everything. So if the book you like that we reviewed didn't make it, I'm sorry. That is why.
Let us know and we'll put up your blurb on the page.
Let us know. Let us know what you think about this one too. Superior Octopus #1, Edge of Spider-Geddon tie-in. We're talking Christos Gage, Mike Hawthorne, and Wade Von Gallbadger. He's the inker. Gallbadger.
He's badging Gauls.
What is this one about? Well, simply put, for those of you who don't know or have not read any of the Spider-Man comics recently, Doc Ock's in a new body. He's a hero now, and he is the Superior Octopus. So he has kind of rebranded himself as a hero. His costume, like, now at this point, he's, I guess, Spider-Man-ish, but he's more just like Doc Ock with a new costume. So, and he had a little bit of a bad run because he was one of those characters that decided to go with Hydra. He was a guy that was like, yo, Hydra's for me. And you know what? You make those decisions, and sometimes they work out, and sometimes they don't, and everyone thinks you're like a Nazi. So, unfortunately, for Superior Octopus, they're coming for him. They're coming for that ass. They say, what up? You're joining Hydra. Once Hydra, always Hydra. And he goes, nah, that ain't me anymore. That's not me. He kicks shit at all these Hydra agents. Weird book, just because I think it just sets up the fact that Superior Octopus is a thing if you didn't know. It doesn't really do anything. It's just like a weird catch-up of where, like, he's been.
The only, like, tidbit of information that you could glean from it that you may not have already known is that the lady that he was dating while in Peter Parker's body found out that he's...
Right, yeah, that he's not him.
Yeah. But now she finds out that that's him again.
And
that's why she's like, oh, goddamn, or whatever.
And they're in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he does a great thing, which is like one of the things I really liked about Superior Spider-Man, was when he was taking concepts that are traditionally like supervillain, and they're like, why hasn't superheroes like just taken this concept and ran with it? And he does it, and it's like super successful.
Yeah.
So he fights all these like E-list villains, and he's basically just like, yeah, I could take you to jail, or you can be like my henchman now. And they're like, what does that mean? Are you a good guy? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, does that mean we're good guys? And the guy's like, I don't know. So I love that idea that he's like this like alpha superhero, and he's just basically recruiting these low-level villains to be his like henchmen to do good. That's such a neat concept. Yeah, I like it. Do you need to read it? Probably not. If you like Superior Spider-Man or the Edge of Spider-Geddon stuff, though, I'd pick it up. It was a fun enough read.
If you're gonna be into all of that, all story too.
They do
a few ads.
They do a good job, or they have been with the Spider-Geddon stuff, where I feel like if you're into one of it or you're into the idea of Spider-Geddon, you should be reading pretty much everything out right now because most of it's quality. There's not a whole lot of filler so far. And I think that has to do with just kind of the landscape of this story where it's just like multiple Spider-Men, so you can do like a lot with that.
Yeah, when the multiple Spider-Man have been around for so long that people don't like they're into that idea because it's been around for so long. To where if you were like, now there's multiple Batmans,
Yeah.
people would be like,
Come on.
But you're already warmed up to the idea of like a bunch of Spider-Man, so it's
Right.
easy. I already knew about Superior Spider-Man, so I felt like reading this
It's kind of like just
wasn't
redundant.
necessary at all. But I didn't mind it. I thought it
Mhm.
was good. So
I'm going B+. Actually, I'm going B.
I'll go C.
Pick it up if you are into the Edge of Spider-Geddon stuff. You really like Superior Spider-Man,
Or
or
if you want to get into Spider-Geddon
Yeah,
and don't know
it's
about
probably
Superior
good.
Spider-Man,
good way to do it. Final book of the episode,
woof,
Magneto,
woof.
number 1,
Woof.
part of the X-Men Black Line, which is a series of 5 one-shots that are being written by Chris Claremont, otherwise known as Chris No Longer Got It Claremont.
Oh.
And then I don't know if the artist is always going to be different, but this one's the Libor Talajic. It's definitely a hard one. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This book is fucking terrible.
It was so bad.
Um,
Oh my god.
Which sucks because I was excited for this line, and Magneto is actually one of my favorite characters,
Talajic?
period, in comics. I really like him for a number of reasons. Chris Claremont coming back, so I was getting excited for it. I read it, and both the story and the art are bad.
They're
sorry.
just tired.
The story, we'll start with the art, which is like whoever did this somehow for whatever reason, it takes place like, okay, so I guess it's just a short story about Magneto. There's not really anything in it. It's like a classic Magneto story. He's, people are hating on mutants, and he basically comes to this base and like fucks people up because they hate mutants. And they're imprisoning mutants. A little political in there for current political climate. We won't get into that, but like the art, he's able to draw Magneto when he's out of uniform, and he looks like a sick old man. And then when he's in uniform as Magneto, he's like completely shredded. It makes zero sense. He's like destroying people and like ripping apart tanks and stuff. And he's got his, like 13 pack. But then when he's out of it, he just looks like this frail old man. And then the pacing of the story is really weird because at one point it like jumps back in time for no reason on Asteroid M.
Yeah.
For like no reason other than I guess like Claremont feels like safe doing that because that was like his stuff. I don't really
And
know.
then he goes to the prison where they're being held and like creates like a new Asteroid M, I guess.
I don't know.
Dude, it's so tired. I've read this story a million times, and like a million times better.
He's one of those guys that I really wish just would have quit when he was ahead, because basically anytime he comes back, which they roll him out like every 5 years to do something X-Men related, it's never good. When he did that series, The Last X-Men or Last Adventures or whatever, which was like a continuation of his run, if he kept doing it, was not good either. So it's like, Claremont, you had a good run. I know that they're paying you a boatload of money to basically not work. And I'm guessing that part of your contract is that you get to write stuff like every couple years or something. That's how I think it is. Because he's always writing this like weird one-shots or like non-canon stuff. Like they just give him weird shit to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tired. I think that's a good description of it. And then it has a backup, which I guess is what leads into the new X-Men event. Because
I actually really liked the backup though.
the backup was better than the main story for sure. Something's going on with Apocalypse.
He's becoming human.
He's becoming human.
Am I becoming human?
And they're pumping this up because that's going to be the next event. Not like we don't have a current X-Men event going on right this instant. They're prepping one for November.
What is it?
Extermination is going on right now.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be over.
It will be over, and it'll go directly into
whatever's next.
whatever the hell's it called? Not Death of X-Men. It's called like Dark Universe X-Men or some shit, or I don't remember.
Some shit X-Men that shits, because this book shitted.
Hopefully, it's not written by Claremont, because it's time to retire, old man. I'm sorry. Your Uncanny stuff was really good, but that was when you were also like 20 years old, and now you're like 60, so maybe it's time to be done with that.
But his stuff was just good for the time too. Doesn't age well.
You don't think so?
Comic books are being written now the best they've ever been, so the old stuff just doesn't now.
Right.
Besides, like, the top of the fucking mountain, you know. Watchmen, Dark Knight.
So do you think that has something to do? Yeah, but they're more recent too. Those are all stuff within the past like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, but I just don't care about the X-Men. The problem with the X-Men is, and I've probably said it a million times, when it's good, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be like great to be good.
Right.
But when it's anything less than great, it's fucking awful.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
feel.
putrid. I don't care about any of these characters anymore.
Yeah, I just wish that this was going to be better than it was.
If it wasn't for the backup, it would definitely get an F. But the backup makes me give it like a D.
Yeah, the thing is,
Argue me about it. You can't.
I'm not. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm going D. And I don't know why the hell they don't like. What happened to getting like all-star people on X-Men? So they're redoing Uncanny X-Men
Because they don't have to, because people will buy it.
But listen to this. So Uncanny X-Men is what? Who's on it? They have 2 writers, or they have meet the all-star creative team behind the epic return of Uncanny X-Men. So it's Ed Brisson and Matthew Rosenberg. I guess they're writing together. And then the artist is just Kelly Thompson
those guys are
and
only okay.
Mahab Assar. And it's like, yo, Marvel, like,
Where do all-stars
start
go?
recruiting, especially writers. Like, what are you guys doing? I'm guessing it's because writers are harder.
Have Donny Cates write X-Men.
Just have Donny Cates write everything. Let's be Marvel Donny. Marvel Donny should be the new Marvel name. Just have him write everything. You guys dropped the ball. You have Cates, you have Aaron. They used to have everybody. Now they got shit. I'm getting tired of these shit books where they come out with these writers who were good 50 years ago.
They brought on Cates, and they were like, yo, Inhumans.
Yeah.
Yo, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
They give them like weird
They
ass
weren't like,
things.
yo,
Now
Cates,
they're
like,
like,
yo,
yo,
X-Men.
Marvel Knights. And it's like, that's cool, but
Yo,
like,
Guardians of the
yo,
Galaxy.
Avengers, do something. Like, I don't get if they're, I guess maybe that he's not ready for that yet. But even like the covers and shit, you know, I just read something today where one of the X-Men books is they're doing a 3D X-Men book, and of course it's a Jim Lee cover, and it's like, Marvel, Jim Lee hasn't also worked for you for fucking years. Why are you toting around his work? He literally works for your competition. Like, what a weird, do you think it's like a petty thing? They're like, oh, check out this work that you did in the 90s. And it's like, nobody cares. That was Troy's phone. He's getting a very important phone call from a telemarketer right now. But that's my rant. Whatever. Deal with it. You know, you're tuned in. You're dealing with it right now.
I agree with you.
So
I don't give a fuck about Ed Brisson.
Ed Brisson on their fucking
he's
flagship X-Men
Wait,
book.
no, he's writing Hulk, right?
No, I don't think that's him. That's Ewing.
Oh, yeah.
That's Al Ewing.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Ed fucking Brisson. Pussy.
Oh, yeah. Uncanny X-Men, your flagship X-Men title. You're getting the rights back, too. You're putting your all-star lineup on it. Your fucking B- team, your C team.
And I guess they spent all their money on the J. Scott Campbell covers for this X-Men book, because it is trash. Oh, wait, no, they had to play Claremont, too.
No, they paid Claremont is what it was. They paid Claremont. They spent the remainder of the money on the covers for J. Scott Campbell,
I don't know,
and they
J. Scott
probably did.
Campbell doesn't look great though, because it could be one of his older.
He got
ones.
some sort of bulk deal because they're doing. No, he's doing all 5 covers for the other ones.
Yeah, but doesn't that say Campbell 2008?
No,
It
it
might
probably
say
says
18.
2018, I'd guess. And then the interior artists, they were like, who cares?
They were like, here's $5.
Yeah, who wants to draw an X-Men book, which, everybody does, so I don't know why you get a poor artist. Whatever.
Whatever.
This is really ending on a down note. Spec Corner. Let's end off on a high note. This was a crazy week for spec books. From last week, Batman and the Dam pretty much holding. It's like at 120 a set. It's moved like every couple days it'll move up a little bit and like start selling for like 150 and then maybe it'll go down to like 100, but it's like pretty much right in that 125 area. So if you're thinking about selling, you got two options. I would say either sell now or you're just holding on to it for a long time.
To make sure that the second print is...
Yeah, that's really what you're gambling with. Because if the second print doesn't come out with the issue number 2, I foresee it going up.
Up, possibly by a lot.
By a lot. But if they announce it, if they basically at any point announce a second printing, especially a second printing with the option or not option, whatever, that it's uncensored, then forget it. That book's nothing. You're going to sell the set for maybe like $50. So, whatever you're trying to do, there's what I think. That's my hot stock tips, insider trading.
Deathstroke 26 or
the
36
Matina
from this
variant
week.
was like insane.
Oh my god. Like people, it settled into like the $17 to $20 price tag you're at now. But yesterday, people were getting like $40, $45 for it.
Yeah, I saw one go for 50. And the cover's like nice, but it's not, I don't know. I'm guessing, I have to assume it's because it's one of those ones where like not a lot of shops get Deathstroke in general.
Right, and
so
a lot of shops get B covers either. And same with the Deadpool that came out yesterday, if you can find that. That's
yeah, number 5, Garbage Pail Kid homage.
Yeah,
it's like
the problem is that when it was listed,
$15-20.
They didn't have the image up, so nobody got any. And then it came
right.
out, and it was
and
so
everyone was
cool.
like, oh, yeah, gimme. That one's $15-20. You got Witching Hour, Wonder Woman, and Justice League Dark,
No,
the Witching
B
Hour, the
covers,
B cover, which I think is
$10,
also
10, 12.
Matina.
Nah, it's not. Some new guy.
So that one's like 10, 15. There's a lot of spec books out. I feel like there's like one or two I'm missing too. Wasn't there another one that we had like a 1 per on?
That was the Wonder Woman.
Yeah, okay. And then, the foil variants for DC, nobody really seems to care. They're okay. They're okay, but like,
shit.
yeah, they don't really do anything. They just like kind of glimmer. They're completely fine. I don't see anybody really like caring. I know like shop wise, like we didn't even get a whole lot of people like getting the discount like sets.
Nah.
Like I think we have like 1, which is pretty unusual because when they did the lenticular, we'd usually get like 10 or 15 people, which is a decent amount for like a set deal. Yeah, nobody really cares about those. Other than that, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else really this week. There's nothing really too crazy.
Justice League 9 is still hanging out.
Yeah, Justice League 9.
The Joker.
The Joker, yeah. Joker B cover, then obviously if you can get the 1/100, it's like a $250 book, so you're probably not going to get it for anything cheaper than that. But you get lucky and you go to some random comic shop and it's just sitting there.
There you go.
There you go. You just won yourself $250 for like $4. Believe it or not, it does happen. I hear it like every week.
A little spec would be of something where you can find the first appearance of Conan. The first, appearance of Conan in the Marvel, when the new book comes out, it'll probably do something.
Yeah, that's what happened with the Star Wars books.
Maybe not jump a lot, but maybe like
enough for
$50
you
to
to
$100.
probably get some money off it for sure.
You could probably find that relatively cheap in decent condition. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. All right, we're ending it. Bye,
Goodbye.
fools. Bye.